Alright, so today we're going to be going over the Houston Astros starting pitching rotation, like their current state of where they are. So, when you look at the Astros rotation, you can see they have a couple of guys, and this is for playoffs. I know that they're in a way better state than they were coming into the year. And coming into the year, it looked like there was no true answer. Like, there was just going to be a bunch of question marks going into the playoffs. They went out and got Yusei Kikuchi, who we'll go over in a bit. But that was a huge move for the organization. A lot of people didn't like it. I personally didn't like it either myself, until obviously they found something within his mechanics. It was really his let me look at it real quick. His pitching selection is what they refer to whenever they talk about why he's been so good as of recent. So first, we'll have a look at Yusei Kikuchi, I guess, since I already have him pulled up. So, looking at Yusei Kikuchi, when we talk about the 4 starters going into the rotation, going into the playoffs, first of all, Astros, as they currently stand, let's look at the MLB standings real quick. As the Astros currently stand, they're 75-65. They're firmly in first place in the AL West. It'll take a bit of falling off for them to lose that. Look at the rotation. There's a couple likely starters that are kind of competing for that spot. So Framber Valdez, I think, is a shoo-in. Framber Valdez, although he didn't have the best postseason last year, he's definitely shown some improvement even over the course of the year, because at the beginning of the year he wasn't doing great. He's shown some improvement, and I think you can truly trust him as your probable ace going into this rotation, going into this postseason. And as of Justin Verlander at the current time speaking, he is not. You scratch all that also. Scratch all that. Okay. So looking at their probable starters, there's Justin Verlander, Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, Ronel Blanco, Yusei Kikuchi, and Spencer Arrighetti. Those are the 6 guys kind of fighting for that spot. So we're going to take a look into which of those 6 guys should really get that start. So first we're going to go over Yusei Kikuchi. Yeah. Yusei Kikuchi is a guy that was brought in not too long ago at the trade deadline. And he was obviously a controversial trade, but it ended up working out. And I think he's a shoo-in for the rotation, if I'm being honest. I think he's a shoo-in. I think he should easily get the start. Get a chance to show out what he's currently has a 4.24 ERA, which has been brought down big time as a Houston Astro. And I just think he's an obvious. Now let's look at another sort of obvious option here. From Valdez. Alright. And actually, I'm going to look at his MLB page just for a better comparison. So 3.11 ERA, he has 150 innings pitched. Also has 146 strikeouts. So if you look at his last 7 games, he's pitching with a 1.94 ERA. That is phenomenal. Even the last 15 games, you can see how it's trickled down big time. I think he's just easily the game 1 starter. Framber Valdez, Yusei Kikuchi could easily be the 2 guy behind him. I don't know. Just depends on these next guys coming up. So let's look at that next guy. So, Hunter Brown. Guy that last year didn't have, honestly, the best season. But this year has really improved. Far improved. Even at the beginning of this year, he set that record where he allowed a lot of hits and runs, and just, it was ugly. But you look at this. This is even better than Framber. This last 7 games is 1.9. And last 15 he's at a 1.96. It really shows you how bad at the start of a season that he really did have. And I really think he's also the shoo-in. Like, it feels crazy to say, and I haven't even mentioned Justin Verlander, and we're gonna get to him, but this is, the guy that he's compared to. Justin Verlander is a guy that Hunter Brown's been compared to very much, been linked to. You can see his throwing mechanics, everything like that. It's just wild that at this point, Hunter Brown has really shown that he's a guy, that he's a playoff caliber pitcher, and he could easily be there. Now, as we mentioned, Justin Verlander, 41 years old. Justin Verlander is, you can see that ERA, that pretty big ERA. His last game out, as a matter of fact. His last game out, he gave up 5 earned runs in 4.2 innings. That's obviously not the Justin Verlander we know of. Looking at Justin Verlander, he's a guy you obviously want in that rotation. I think he is your 4th option at this point. I think he's probably the best 4th option you got. I think you have to play it safe. Obviously, if he just keeps giving up bad performances, you got to start giving a better look at Ronel Blanco, at Spencer Arrighetti. But I think you can kind of tell Ronel Blanco, as of recent, hasn't been great, and I think it's just a product of he hasn't pitched much. He hasn't pitched much in his career ever. This is his first time being a full-time starter. Had a great first half, but he's really starting to kind of come down to earth. And he's really starting to come back down to earth. The 3.03 ERA, 4.0 ERA in the last 7 games. He's just starting to come back to earth. It's a guy that I just think is kind of, I think Ronel Blanco, as great as he's been over the course of the year, he's had no hitter. I think the season's done for him in terms of being our option in a postseason game. Talking about Blanco, we gotta talk about the last guy on this rotation, on a probable rotation, Spencer Arrighetti. Now you see that ERA and you might think, why the hell would this guy even get a chance at being a guy in the rotation? You just said Justin Verlander at a 4.5 ERA is a what? And then you got a Ronel Blanco down there with a 3.03. Well, you see, ERA isn't something you can really look at as a pitcher. It is, but I think you got to look at deeper in the stats. You got to look deeper. It's much deeper in stats in baseball. It truly is. So you see these last 7 games. Even the last 7 games aren't horrible. But look, these stats are heavily inflated by, as you can see right next to it, the Cincinnati game where he only pitched 0.2 innings, but had 9 earned runs given up. He didn't even finish the inning. So you look at that. You calculate the fact that in the last 7 games, he's only given up 10 earned runs in 38.1 innings. That makes it sound a lot better, right? So that, I think before that game, he was down in the low 3s to high 2s in terms of ERA in the last couple games, and he was really pushed as a probable guy in rotation. I still firmly think he could easily get a chance to be a guy. I think he would just have to show that was a fluke, that was a, whatever, and just really come back down to this couple games. Look at Philadelphia, 7.2 innings, 11 strikeouts, no earned runs to Baltimore. Those are 2 amazing teams. Those are 2 playoff teams. Baltimore and Philadelphia are both top teams in their leagues. This is a guy you want pitching against those teams and showing, hey man, I can pitch. I can shut these guys out. Whereas you had a guy like Justin Verlander, who, yes, against Cincinnati, he got blown up. But look at Philly, he got 5 innings pitched, only 4 earned runs. So it's a matter of who do you want pitching. Obviously, I would probably give the edge as much as the Astros would probably give the edge. to an older veteran, a guy who's been there before, Justin Verlander over a rookie like Arrighetti. But my personal rotation, I'm gonna tell you right now, my personal rotation would be Framber Valdez, game 1, and then you would line it up with a Yusei Kikuchi at 2. I know that sounds crazy, but yes, Yusei Kikuchi was a guy that you probably thought was not gonna make the roster, just simply was not going to make the postseason rotation. You were like, what the hell? We traded Joey Loperfido, we traded Will Wagner, we traded Jake Bloss in that trade, and wow. But if you re-sign him next year, I really hope they do. If they re-sign him next year, it's really looking like a good trade, and especially if he can have some good innings in his postseason. So I would put Framber Valdez, Yusei Kikuchi. Hunter Brown would honestly be my 30-game starter. So in an ALDS, I don't think we would see a Justin Verlander starting. Maybe out of the bullpen. I would honestly wait till if we make the championship series. That's when I would debut Verlander as the 4th guy in the rotation, and as well as World Series. If it make it that far, I think that's where Justin Verlander can play a part. I just truly am a little skeptical about him. Again, this can change. We still have a month of baseball left, but it's trickling down very, very fast. And unless you can have some really, really strong starts down the stretch, I don't see him getting a start over guys who have played much better baseball for a way longer time this season. Obviously, not as a career, but this season with the Astros. Between Hunter Brown, Framber Valdez, and Yusei Kikuchi. Justin Verlander's, I don't know if it's the age, I don't know if it's just the injuries and stuff that's affecting him, but we may see the last season of Verlander with the Astros once again. And hopefully he can prove me wrong, and, hey, they'll trust him, they'll give him game 2, game 3, and you'll go out and pitch a no-hitter or something. That'd obviously be great for the Astros fans, considering you would have 4 elite pitchers, and Framber Valdez is a bit shaky in the postseason. You don't know what you're going to get from Hunter Brown, as he's never really been a starter. And also, Yusei Kikuchi is a guy that, he's pitched really well as a recent, but, there could be a time where he just falls off. So I feel very confident in that lineup, in that rotation between those 4 guys, but we'll see what happens when it comes time. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you like this. I'm gonna try to keep doing these things. I'm still figuring out how I want to run this channel, but as of right now, this is the type of content I'm going to be doing. I'll get much better with, making my own stuff once I can get a feel for this thing. I kind of want to push some gaming content out there. I want to do certain other stuff, but as of right now, this is what I'm going to be doing, and stay along for the ride. Subscribe, like if you like it. Just decided I'd leave my thoughts out there, so thank you for watching. Peace.